Hey there, welcome to episode 5 of the Madness Retaliation 2 Rebuild project. Today we're going to be working on textures. Now, what you see in front of you is an image that I posted a couple years back on Newgrounds, and today we're going to be taking these images and converting them to textures for use on our pawns inside the game. Let's begin. First thing I want to do is enable my grid. I have a grid layout. These are 64 by 64 pixel squares, and it's perfect for texturing. Now, my approach to this is I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to select this box here. Seems that, yeah, I need to set my snaps to grid. I'm going to get a square here, 2 by 2, and then I'm going to select white. This is going to be our base face layer. Now I'm going to move over and select the gray for the clothing. Select the paint bucket, hold control, get that color over there. Then I'm gonna select another 2 by 2. Come on, snaps. There you go. This is going to be our body. We're going to select a smaller square over here. Back to white. I'm going to make it just a little darker. Let's set it to 80 on value. Okay. It's going to be our hand. Then we're going to have another square here, or maybe let's get this one. And then we're going to set this at value 60. This is going to be our shoe texture. We're going to put the trademark Madness crossface right here. Get a bigger brush. Let's set it to 10. Okay. Put a cross right there. And then this is going to be the shirt. I'm just going to add a little detail here. Make it look like it's tattered a little bit. There you go. Zoom in. Clean this up. Okay. No problem if we go over a little bit. For the hand, we're going to put those 2 little lines. Get a bigger brush, size 10. And then for the shoe, we're going to add here a clean seam that'll separate the top and bottom of the shoe. Okay. Let's save this. Now this file is already saved inside our assets folder, Madness Retaliation 2 Rebuild Assets. Created the folder in Blender. We called it textures. So save it. Export the texture sheet.png. That's good. Now we switch over to Blender. So this is the pawn that we made last time. Now I'm going to edit it just a little bit. I'm just going to rotate them just a little bit. So that this top cap here is right at the head of the pawn. Shrink this down also. Next thing I'm going to do is take these vertices, going to delete them, and do the same for the head. Then I'm going to add a modifier, mirror, on the head. Do the same for the body. Make a new material. Choose Instead of a base color, we'll do an image texture. We'll open the file that we just made, texturesheet.png. Then switch to viewport shading mode. Now you can see here the image that we have inside GIMP, which shows all of the armor designs is being displayed on the head model. That's because we haven't set the UVs yet. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to move here to this front view, turn off X-ray, switch to face mode, select these faces, unwrap, project from view. Then I'm going to go to UV editing, and then here I can see split screen, half of it showing my model, the other half showing the texture sheet. Gonna change this view, zoom in a little bit, pan up. So once I move the UVs here, like so, scale it down, scale it up, and attach it to the face. You see here, we have the trademark Madness Combat crossface. Now, if I turn around, you'll see that the back UVs have not changed. So let's fix that now. UV unwrap, unwrap. Nope, sorry. Unwrap, project from view. Now these are less important. I just want them to be white. So I'm just gonna actually scale them all the way down and then make them very small and fit them right over here. Now let's move on to the body. Body has not yet been assigned the material. Fix that. In fact, let's do that for all the body parts. Material there, material here, material on the hand, material on the front hand. All right, so let's get a side view of our body. So I edit mode, select entire thing, and then I select unwrap. That gives me this shape. I'll rotate it by 90 degrees and scale it down to about 20%. Move that, focus in, and then I'm going to scale this again. All right, I'm gonna hide the shoes for this. Foot. So you can see here at the lower edge of the torso, the effect of the frayed cloth. And what I'm gonna do to clean this up is I'm gonna scale by SY0. You know what? I'm going to leave out this line right here. SY0. Do the same for each level of this. Then I'm gonna start moving these down. Press G, Y, hold control to snap. Change my snaps to vertex. Okay, let's snap it. Snap. Take this last one, snap it down. Then I'm gonna move this down just a tiny bit so it gets the edge. Okay, I'm actually going to go in here, select vertex mode, select these top vertices, then I'm going to go to face mode by pressing 3, and I'm gonna unwrap these separately. Okay, got a nice half circle right there. Gonna move this aside for now. In fact, I'm just gonna put it right over here. Select these remaining vertices. Deselect this line right here because I'm going to use that as my guide for the y-axis snapping. I'm going to do scale y 0. Snap it to the y. Okay, good. Now, I'm going to take these vertices, scale X 0, and snap to X. So what I'm doing here is I'm squaring off this entire UV. SX 0, press G, press X, Control, and the last one, SX 0, press G, press X, hold Control. There you go. All right, so that's the UV for the body. Now that that's done, I'm gonna take this. I'm just gonna move it down here so that it is together with the rest of the body UVs. Let's bring the feet back, move on to the hands. Now the hands are pretty simple as far as their texture goes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do an unwrap project from view. And this is gonna give me roughly the hand shape. And then if I scale this down, move it to the side, then focus in. Scale that. It seems that our Mickey Mouse marks are a little too big. But at least now we know that they're roughly there. So I'm gonna go back into GIMP. Our Mickey Mouse mark is gonna be something like that. Transform. Press enter. Anchor it. Refill the void. Save. Export. Back to Blender. Alt R. Okay, there you go. Gonna do something similar with this backhand. We're going to unwrap, project from view, and if we zoom out and take this, give it a quick rotate. That's negative 90 degrees, and then put it right there. Want that to line up with the index finger right there. Okay, so we're done with the hands. Now let's move on to the shoes. The shoes are a little different again. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna rotate this view. I want to be looking at the foot dead on. Then I'm gonna unwrap this, project from view. Over here you'll see we have this shape. It up, scale it down. Plonk it right here. Then we want to do the same for this shoe. Edit mode, face mode, UV unwrap, project from view. Do the same thing. Scale it down. Okay, I'm gonna save this. Then go back to GIMP. Now, let's make our first custom character. Unlock this layer. I'm gonna duplicate this so that we have a reference. Copy, paste this new layer. Just want to have a reference. That's all. All right. So we'll call this our Grunt. It's the vanilla pawn. I'm just going to duplicate this layer. So for this guy, we're going to have glasses. I'm just going to draw these on. I'm going to switch to my stylus now. Select the paintbrush. Zoom in a little bit. Get a black brush. Draw it in. Something like that, right? Okay. Eyebrow shape going there. Okay. And then we're going to have this color inside. Let's select the bigger brush now. But we can fill this actually. Select the bigger brush, just go over it. Then with our size 9 brush, we're just going to go over the outside. Okay, make it a little thicker. Then I'm gonna make the band. Okay. Now I'm gonna make something similar on this side. The select box, make sure I don't paint over the cell. Okay, select nothing. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. That's it for the glasses. Now for our body, we have this cool jacket design. Come on, buddy. So in our grunt copy, I'm gonna select these cells. Just gonna hit delete, clear it, get this color, fill it. So the front part of the jacket has a gap. So this is actually gray. That. Then there's like a little zipper effect. Is white. Let's make that. That's this part right here. And then we have these straps coming off the side. I'm just going to draw that in manually. Switch to a size 8 brush. Switch to black. Okay. Starts about halfway down the body. I'm going to just make a line here. Straight line. Hold shift. Okay. Shift and control. That's the top strap. A little space. This is the bottom strap. Okay. Put an outline right here. Big outline. Okay, there's a little gap here. I draw that in. Then we have these little white highlights, which I assume are metal bits. Should remove the snap momentarily for this. Again, this is still the kind of draft version. I'm not actually worried about the accuracy. I just want to make it close as possible to the final product without spending a bunch of time modeling. Now it's going to have this kind of sleeve, so we're just going to draw that in. Let's draw a square right there. Okay, and then put some studs. 2, 4. You know what? That's only 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay. We're going to pick another. Oh, I forgot about this bandana completely. So go back here to the top layer. This. I'm gonna turn my snapping back on. Please, thank you. Okay, so the bandana just hits above the glasses. So let's choose this color. Cover that. Select now. Switch back to our black brush. Line over here. And then I think we're done for this sheet because the hands and the feet don't change. Zoom out and then take this layer, drag the entire thing over here. So this was my reference layer. I'm going to delete that now. And I will put the grunt back in. And in fact, I'm going to create a new middle layer. I'm going to make this bright green. Paste, fill that in. Right? Hit save, hit export. and then head back to Blender. Over here, Alt R, and that'll update. Our next step is going to be to duplicate this. Okay, we have a new body. We'll call this body.001.jacket. We hid the original body. We're gonna take this new body and just move everything over on the X. Like so. I just realized now what the issue is on the design. This top section should be bigger. So what if I take this? I'm gonna move that up. Scale this up. Move it like so. Okay, now we can see the shoulder pad. Now next, we're gonna take the head. We're gonna work on the head. I'm gonna press Shift D. That'll duplicate the head. That's my new head. Hide the old one. Head.001 goggles. Take this. Press Tab. Select all these faces. Then I'm gonna go over here. Now, in the previous setup, I just put this as a tiny piece on the bottom. What's that now? Scale it, move it to the side, but not quite touching the other UV. Okay, now, if I slide this over to the X, we're gonna get our new face on this new head. Later on, we're going to be modeling the shoulder pad and then the little tassels on the back of the bandana. But you can see here, it's a very quick way to generate some assets that are visually distinct inside the game. Now, let's see how it looks in Unity. Let's center on the pawn. Okay, that's a pawn variant. Go to Blender, pawn. Pop that in. What is our issue? Assets, Blender, pawn.blend, file. Let's save it. Go back to Unity. That's the problem, we did not save. Alright. So here, let's hide this for a moment. So here in our staging, we can see that we have pawn from Blender. If we take, we'll call this pawn Grunt. Duplicate it, call this pawn jacket and goggles. I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna hide that. On jacket and goggles, I'm going to hide the base body, I'm going to hide the base head, and then I'm going to move this entire object to the side. So you can see here, we now have two visually distinct pawns. Let's give this some material so that it stands out a little more. All right, there you go. Look at these guys. It ain't pretty, but it's visually distinct. Looks good to me. These are absolutely usable for the next phase of our development. Alright, looks good to me for now. In the next video, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to take the remaining designs over here, do what I just did with that first design, create the textures, fit them onto the 3D model, and then export them to Unity. And That's going to take some time. It takes me about 30 minutes to finish each texture map. So instead of having you watch through that 15 times, I'm just going to do a time lapse and maybe talk over it some. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.